What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me. Night walk. Trying to finish up my 10,000 steps before I retire for the evening. Man, I got to talk to y'all about Dr. Bryant again, man. Now, this is the sister that was on Cam Newton's podcast. You know, I mentioned before about how, some of the stuff she was saying to Cam Newton, she was on point because he was saying some stuff that just sounded ridiculous. Like I was not rocking with the stuff he was saying, not all of it, but when it came to the whole creating broken homes thing, I was not feeling the stuff that he was saying at all. And so the stuff that she checked him on about that, I agree with her. It was when he asked her about, why was she an attractive woman, successful, and 41 with no kids and no husband, that, her aura seemingly disappeared. So let's talk about that. He asked her, it was something else he asked her about that I thought was interesting, and she kind of like stumbled quite a bit on answering. He asked her about having a Wikipedia. All right, he asked her about having a Wikipedia, and he wanted to do some sort of research on her before having her own, as much research as possible. And he said she didn't even have a Wikipedia page, so he asked her what was up with that, and she gave some roundabout answer that really didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, she really walked around answering that directly a lot. I mean, she could have just been like, I don't know why I don't have a wiki, man. Maybe I should have one. But she gave all this roundabout stuff. Then she got to talking about where she grew up at and trauma and her father. I mean, it became really weird because I think at that point he had just asked her where she was from, which is a pretty simple question, a pretty common question that somebody would ask a guest, that the host of a podcast would ask a guest. And man, she went all down the line saying all this different stuff. I mean, in that moment, I realized that all of that aura that she had, it was a facade. All of that aura that she had, it's just a projection. It's almost like armor, because she was so cool and collected and steely when talking to Cam about his situation and telling him what's wrong with him and what he needs to do better. But when it came to answering questions about herself, man, she like just completely fell apart. And then I went and I looked up a little bit about when she was on Nick Cannon's show. And Nick Cannon asked her about getting married, Now, I wanted to find this particular thing in Nick Cannon's thing in particular because this came up on Cam's. So I think it's interesting that men are like asking her about that. Like, you got it all going on like this, like you say. How come you ain't got no husband? So Nick Cannon asked her about being married. She ain't been married, but she's been engaged 4 times. Now, I don't think I need to really tell y'all what's wrong with that. Like, being engaged does not count. If a man asks you, have you been married? I've been engaged 4 times. That is not the flex that you think that it is. You've had supposedly 4 different men get down on one knee and ask you to marry them, and you never made it to the altar any of those times. That's not the flex to us men that you think it is. That tells us that you ain't wifey material. And she did say something that I found to be interesting. She said she broke it off all 4 times. The men never did. She broke it off all 4 times. And she also said that it was her, not the men. That was a bit of accountability that I really wasn't expecting. Because, sisters, I love you, but we know accountability is not something that you really embrace. A lot of times you tend to blame the men for everything. If you ask 10 women what went wrong in their last relationship, all 10 of them is going to blame the men. They were just the perfect girlfriend, the perfect fiance, or whatever, and he did everything wrong. So hearing her say that those 4 engagements that got broke off, it was her every time, and essentially saying, oh, we got noise. We got somebody here in the slingshot all loud. Because y'all know I always attract noise. And that craptastic music that they playing, I'm probably gonna have to use the isolation tool in order to get rid of it, because YouTube and the copyright stuff. Just my luck, I'm out here. I was having a peaceful walk and somebody just had to come past with a loud garbage ass music playing. Just threw my whole vibe off, threw all the ambience off. But we gonna keep it moving. We just gonna keep on rolling with it anyway. If I gotta use the tool to isolate my voice and remove the music, y'all will know, because around that part it'll get weird, with the audio. But anyways, I was saying, I thought that was it was very interesting that she was taking accountability. She was essentially saying that these were good men and it was her that was the problem. So I think she said 2 or 3 of them were low vibration men, and you attract what you are. So she claims that she was a low vibration woman. I don't know if I believe that 2 or 3 of them were low vibration men. Maybe the first one or possibly the second one was, but like 3 of them being low vibration, I don't know about that, because as you getting your pieces of paper, your degrees, and you leveling up, we all know that women tend to want a man that's above them. So if she was low vibration, if she's attracting these guys were likely still of higher stature than her. She definitely not gonna marry some bum guy now. That's not gonna happen. But I think she's way past the point of marrying. I think that marrying for her is a far gone conclusion. I would love to be wrong about this. I'm not rooting for her to be single. But I just think that, women like this, getting married is just a far gone conclusion. She's a bit too much of a boss babe now to really be submissive to a man. And she kind of reminds me of that one chick, Coach Stormy. Like, she's a mad boss babe, that Coach Stormy. And Dr. Bryant really gives me Coach Stormy type vibes. So those type of women, they really typically don't settle down with a dude because they want a guy that's just gotta kind of let them lead. They want a guy that's an alpha, but at the same time is gonna let them lead the relationship, and that's not gonna happen. I remember a while back on Steve Harvey's show, he had some chick on there. She said she was an alpha female, which, don't even get me started down that road. I think the term alpha female is ridiculous, but we just gonna say that for another video. But she was saying to Steve Harvey, like, she wants a strong masculine man that is going to be Pippen and let her be Jordan. And Steve Harvey, surprisingly, because he panders a lot, he has a mostly female audience and he very much panders to them. But even that was too much for him. He stopped her and was like, ain't nobody gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna do that. He like, what masculine alpha man is going to let you be Jordan and he be Pippen? That's just not going to happen. So I think that's typically what the women like her are. They want a guy that doesn't exist because they want this strong masculine alpha male that is going to defer to them, the woman in the relationship, and they're just not going to do that. And they're usually of the type, I'm not going to settle, right? So they end up holding out for a guy that's never gonna come, you know. So I'm gonna leave it there. I think I did the proper addendum to that video the other day about Dr. Bryant. So we got more noise coming. Let me step back so I could go ahead and close out. Appreciate y'all connecting with me. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Holla at y'all later. Peace.